So what we are here to do today is to talk about, and we are so excited, we can't believe it, that for the first time ever, two of our passions are coming together, which is Jack's incredible work, The Success Principles, which some of us know and love, and some of us are going to get to know and love. So actually, let me know, give me a 1 in the chat if you know The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, because I would love to see where we're at with that. And give me a 2 if you haven't read The Success Principles, so we just know if we have any people. Oh look, Trish is doing my normal Vanna White. She's holding up the book. Yeah. Okay, so we have a couple people who are not familiar with The Success Principles and lots who are. So bringing together the Success Principles with the power of essential oils. And the beautiful Trina is going to be co-hosting this event with me today. And we have the man himself who wrote the New York Times best-selling book, Jack Canfield, who should be joining us any moment to share with all of us what this amazing experience is going to look like. So what to expect to be on this call for an hour. And we're going to share with you about the Success Principles, about this 30-day experience that is coming up starting on the 28th of April will be the official kickoff call, but starting really at the beginning of May and running for an entire month. Because, well, again, a question is probably better. Who would love to see more success in some area of their life? Whether it's, yes, tell me in the chat. Yes, would you like to see where? Is it financial? Is it health? Is it romantic? Which area would you love to see more success in your life? Oh, look, and I see him. The man himself has just arrived. Jack is here. Yes. Okay.
Yay.
Fantastic. So let's kick this off, Trina. Oh, I need to stop sharing my screen so you can share yours.
Oh, perfect. And up in there. And make sure everyone can see.
Everyone is saying everything. Yes, health, fitness, work, financial health, launching my TV show. Oh, I was like, who's that? But it's Sprite. All of the above. Okay. So just a couple of things to get us started here. My boss told me to dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So now I'm sitting in a disciplinary meeting dressed as Wonder Woman. Anyone seen the Amy Cuddy TED Talks, those power poses?
Power pose.
Taking it a step further there. Okay. And moving on, Trina.
Sorry, I got caught up in the fun.
It's okay. I literally had this conversation with my 19-year-old daughter the other day where I put on a white shirt and told her that still, and maybe this is a hang up from having children, I still feel anxious when I wear white because I'm convinced I'm going to spill something on it. So I ate spaghetti while wearing a white shirt and I didn't get sauce on it. These are some of the ways in which we may or may not experience success. Okay. So the Success Principles experience is going to be led by the incredible Jack Canfield, who you're going to hear from in just a moment, and several of his amazing certified trainers. And this experience was designed to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. The world is opening up. That's very exciting. Anyone else feel excited by that? And all through last year, people were having different experiences. Some people were suffering and other people were achieving greater success than they ever had. And I guess one of the questions we could ask ourselves is, what's the difference between those two types of experiences that people had? Some people made a decision to create a significant change. They got clear on their goals, they took responsibility for their lives, maybe got a new mentor. And if you're on this call with us today, you're probably one of those people, or you want to be. You're someone who wants to see more success in your life. Because it's time to focus on your dreams and goals. It's time to remove the obstacles that have been standing in your way and get into action. It's time to move from where you are to where you want to be. And we're going to share with you a way that for 30 days, you can be completely immersed inside a very fun, loving, supporting community and trainings that are designed to supercharge your ability to get clear, stay focused, and model success from the very system that we know and love, which we call the Success Principles. So we're going to talk about success a little bit. And when we hear that word success, I think, you know, in a typical sense, in an old paradigm, it may have been associated with financial wealth and abundance. But there are many, many ways in which we experience success in our own lives. And really, success, I believe, is up to be defined by each one of us. It probably looks slightly different for every single person on this call. So maybe for you, and just have a think about it, success is really having health in your body. What does success in health look like to you? Or maybe success for you is having amazing relationships and an abundance of fun and laughter. What does it look like to have success and connection in the friendships in your life? Maybe success even looks to you like finding a true love relationship or working on the existing relationship that you have. Success could for sure look like focusing on your career or business. And I guess the question is, what does it look like to have success in your work life? And one of my personal favorites, I like to say that I'm addicted to peace. So does success look like having an abundance of quality time, of you time, of peace? And what would it feel like to be more at ease? And then, of course, what about success in the area of finances? To me, financial success always represents a sense of freedom, of travel, of adventure, of luxury. But for you, maybe it's planning for retirement, or sending your kids to college, or having a certain amount of savings in the bank, or being debt-free. I know that during this experience, I am going to be focusing on business growth. That's my current area of focus. We did another amazing experience called the Abundance Experience, where I was focusing on love, but this time around, I'm really going to be utilizing the Success Principles to focus on business growth. So I would love for you to put in the chat right now whatever came to mind when we were talking about those different areas of success. Which ones are feeling like they're calling to you right now? Focusing on business growth. Yes, Regina. Business and financial, balance, positively powering more business growth in relationships, financial health, fun and health, health, finances, career, happy and healthy. Peter's like, it's all about the money, money, money. Just got those dollar signs coming in. I want to leave my day job and have both time and money to fix up my house, travel and help my family and friends when they need it. Okay, financial freedom. Freedom. Okay, so this is a quote from Jack that says, if you want to be really successful, and I know you do, then you will have to give up blaming and complaining and take total responsibility for your life. That means all your results, both your successes and your failures, and that is the prerequisite for creating a life of success. So I am going to introduce the man himself, but before I do that, we're going to talk just a little bit about the Success Principles. So the Success Principles is a book that changed my life. I got given the Success Principles book, I think in 2009, and at the time, I had qualified as a life coach. I'd done a year-long certification, and someone gave me the Success Principles, and I started reading it and I started implementing it in my own life. And I loved it so much, and I found that the elements of the success principles were so powerful that I actually started implementing the concepts in this book with my clients. And what I noticed was that all of my coaching clients saw massively expedited results when using the success principles. So one of the things that the success principles teaches us to do is to set a breakthrough goal. And at the time I was living in Marbella in Spain, and I had grown a business which I'd been running at that point for 10 years. And it was a very successful business. I ran it with my ex-husband. And my breakthrough goal became that I wanted to move to the US, and I wanted to work in the transformational space full time. And actually that I wanted to train with Jack Canfield was one of the things. And so I utilized the success principles and another book called The E-Myth by Michael Gerber to totally restructure my business and get it ready for sale, so that I was actually able to do that, get a business visa and relocate to the US. And I did come and train with Jack. I came and trained with him in 2014. So for me personally, this work, more than anything else that I have ever done, has been the most transformational in creating continuous success in my life. But we have a few other people, Trina, on that slide who said some great things about the success principles too. So some of you may have heard of this lady. Her name's Oprah Winfrey, and she said, Jack's true passion is sharing a path to success that can only be achieved by embracing the highest vision each of us has for ourselves. And another man you may have heard of, Tony Robbins, said, the results you'll achieve will be extraordinary. Jack's teachings have given me the courage to go for my wildest dreams. I became a #1 best-selling author 5 times, an inspirational speaker, and an award-winning entrepreneur. More importantly, I'm living my life in alignment with my values and passions. And that was Cherie Fink. And then someone else here has said, when I first learned magic, one of my favorite tricks was to make money disappear. Years later, Jack taught me another kind of magic, the kind that makes money and fame and success and happiness appear. And that was from Kabir Khan. But we could talk all day about people who know and love the success principles, because there are literally thousands upon thousands of them. So I'm going to hand it over to Jack. Jack is a truly remarkable man. He is the co-creator of the beloved worldwide phenomenon and Guinness World Record holding book series, The Chicken Soup for the Soul. He's a featured teacher from the movie The Secret. Actually, let me know if you've seen that movie. Tell me yes in the chat if you've seen The Secret. And if not, we highly recommend watching it. You're on this call because someone you know or you invited you to help you create more of what you want out of life. Jack is also known as America's #1 success coach and one of the most skilled teachers of all time. He is the creator of the Canfield Method with 3,000 certified trainers worldwide. He founded the Canfield Training Group, which is the company that runs all of Jack's trainings. And they literally help people get from where they are to where they want to be by setting goals, releasing blocks, and limiting beliefs, and getting unstuck and creating the life they've always wanted. So Jack.
Thank you.
Take it away.
I'm glad to do that. You can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad to join you guys. I was a few minutes late. I just got off a webinar I was running for 1,200 people in India, which was one of the countries I love to go to. I've been over there about 6 times. And that was very interesting. I had a good time with that. So now I'm here with you. So let's talk about the success principles a little bit. I first learned about this back in the 1970s when I was a teacher in school. And I met a man named W. Clement Stone who was worth $500 million. And he said, come study with me and I'll teach you how to be successful and teach your students how to be more successful, because I was teaching in an inner city school. And he taught me the basics of the principles of success, the things when you read about Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He actually co-authored a book with him. And I learned those and started applying them in my life. And then he said, I want you to set a breakthrough goal. Natalie just talked about a breakthrough goal that brought her from Spain to the US, both with my book and Michael Gerber's E-Myth book, which is another book I've read and done his work as well. And it's a wonderful, wonderful combination. And so I set a goal to make $100,000. At the time I was making $8,000 a year. And I started applying the principles of success that he taught me. And in that next year, I made $92,328, not quite 100,000, but way beyond the 8,000. And then I set a goal to make 1 million, which I did a few years after that. I have a check off and show people in my slideshows for $1,138,000 that I received from a publisher for the first Chicken Soup for the Soul book. And so, as she said, we've gone on and we've trained people all around the world to do this work. And I've been in this space literally since the 1970s. And so I'm 76 today. Someone on this Indian webinar said, you don't look it, you look younger every year. I've lost about 7 pounds in the last month. So I'm continually working on longevity. It's one of my breakthrough goals for this year, is to get my weight down and my energy up, getting more sleep and more exercise, eating much healthier. I've always eaten, I guess you say is the word, eating healthier. And so anyway, you can see I'm very happy. Life's working for me and has been working for a long time because these principles always work. I always say, if you always work the principles always work. So literally these principles have changed my life, and now my life is committed to wanting to teach others to do that, which is why we do this work. Now, what happened is that throughout my career, I've been doing a lot of new things. Beyond what I learned from, W. Clement Stone, I have added a lot of new breakthroughs, things like the 5-minute phobia cure, emotional freedom technique, where we're tapping on these 9 acupuncture points and disappearing phobias and fears and limiting beliefs, the law of attraction work, new meditation techniques. And now I'm actually in a course called a 45-day course to what they call fundamental well-being, which is like being enlightened, and the new breakthroughs in positive psychology and neuroscience. And so we're learning a lot of the things that have been taught for thousands of years by gurus in India, by spiritual teachers in the West, philosophers in Greece and Rome like Socrates and people like that, that all of these things we've been teaching are now being backed up by positive psychology, by neuroscience, by quantum physics, etc. So we're a lot more sophisticated. We can do a lot more than we used to do. But literally a couple of years ago in 2018, I had another experience that profoundly changed my life, that brought in a whole new methodology for working with people that has helped my relationship with my wife, my business, my mastermind groups, and all the trainings we're doing now. And that is these essential oils. And what happened was I was running a luxury retreat. We put on about 2 or 3 days a year where we would have about 15 to 20 people. It was a very high ticket item. We spent 4 days in a luxury resort with them, everywhere from Bali to Hawaii to Florence, Italy, and Santa Barbara. And Catherine Tristane came to my retreat that we were doing in Santa Barbara. And we'd start to do an exercise and she'd say, there's an oil for that. And I'd say, what do you mean there's an oil for that? And she'd say, well, these things called essential oils. And if you take this oil and we rub it on our hands and we inhale it, 20 breaths, whatever, what'll happen is the thing you're about to do will happen more easily and people will go deeper and faster. And we were about to do a life purpose exercise because I believe you shouldn't be setting goals until you know what your life purpose is, so that your goals are aligned with your purpose. The old famous saying, you don't want to get to the top of the ladder and realize the ladder is leaning against the wrong wall, which a lot of people have done. They make money, they're famous, but they're miserable. We see all these movie stars and millionaires who basically commit suicide, who are addicted to drugs and alcohol, or having affairs and ending up in divorce, and they can't see their children and so forth. So they're not like totally fulfilled by what they're doing. So I said, okay, let's do it. So we'd take an oil and we'd put it on our hands and we'd rub it around and we'd inhale it. And sure enough, everyone went deeper and faster and had more clarity of their life purpose than I'd ever seen happen in a seminar. And then we were about to do a thing where people were going to be in hot seats. And this one woman was really afraid to get up there. It's just like she didn't like being the center of attention. And, she had some, we later learned, childhood experiences where she failed when she was like doing a class report or something, and she felt shame and decided this will never happen again. How will I achieve that? I'm never going to raise my hand. I'll never stand in front of a group. I'm not going to speak. I'm, whatever. And Catherine would say, oh, we have this thing called Valor. Here, put this on your hands. You put 3 drops on there and rub it around, inhale it. And within a few minutes, the person felt totally fine and courageous, which Valor is about, because it's made out of the same oils that the Roman soldiers used to rub on their bodies before they would go into battle. And they had the science of oils had been around for centuries or millennia. Really started in before even the great Egyptian Empire, back in Byzantine Empire and all of that. So anyway, I started getting intrigued with these oils. And I think by the time it was over, everyone would have tried 8, 9, 10 oils for different things, sleeping at night, de-stressing, whatever it might be. And so I was pretty blown away by that. And I said, okay, I want to know more about this. I signed up and got the starter pack and all these oils. I started buying some books and reading them and realizing, wow, this is some pretty cool stuff. And what I learned is that this aromatherapy, which is when you inhale the essence of the oil, if you rub it on your skin, you can also ingest these oils, you can eat them, drink them. But basically what happens is they have a huge impact on your consciousness and on your body, your health, all of that. And so what I learned was that when you inhale an oil, within 20 seconds, that vapor, if you will, the essence of it, the scent of it, has an impact on the limbic system in the brain. Within 20 seconds, you're past the brain-blood barrier, you're in the brain, and you are actually having an impact. I learned later, just this last month or so, that we have little hairs that are at the top of the nasal passage. Some of you may have gotten the COVID test and felt that go up in there. And there are little hairs in there that are actually almost like brain cells. And they're instantly inhaled, go straight to the olfactory system, which is the oldest sensory system we have. We used to have to smell animals in order to survive. If we could smell a lion or a saber-toothed tiger or whatever, we knew we had to be safe. And so smell, very important. We smell rotten food. We don't eat it because we know it's bad for us. It makes us disgusting. So this is very, very powerful. Now think about this. Within 20 seconds, you can affect your feelings. You can affect your emotional state. You can go from a state of stress to a state of relaxation. You can go from a state of non-courage to courage within seconds. Now, if we rub it on the bottom of our feet, which has millions of cells, of the receptor cells, and millions of little openings where this can go into the body, within 20 minutes, every cell in the body will have been impacted by these oils. And here's how that works. We know that there are 40 million trillion molecules per drop of essential oils. So one drop of essential oil has 40 million trillion molecules. That's 40 with 18 zeros after it. That's a lot of zeros. Now, we also know the body is made up of 100 trillion cells. So now 40 million trillion to 100 trillion means that once this goes into your body, every cell within 20 minutes can have 400,000 molecules of peppermint, let's say, around it, or whatever you want to do, lavender if you want to relax, peppermint if you want to wake up, lemon if you want to wake up. Any of the citrus oils will do that for you. So what happens is that they're so small, these molecules, they're measured in what they call Daltons or atomic mass units. And the average is 300 or less. Now we know it has to be somewhere between 400 or less. Some people say 800 or less, different science, in order to get past the brain-blood barrier, which means every essential oil can pass through the brain-blood barrier and go into the brain through the bloodstream, in addition through the smelling, through the olfactory system, and have an impact on your consciousness, have an impact on your state of feeling, have an impact on your courage to take risks, to do things, etc. So this is really, really, really critical. The other thing, I don't want to do too much science, is all these oils are what they're called lipid soluble, because everything to go past the brain-blood barrier has to be lipid soluble as well. It means it's soluble in the fats. So think about this. These are amazing. And they're not, I always thought essential oils were just for spas. You go to the spa, they say, if you smell this, it'll relax you. If you smell this, it'll wake you up. Before you get your massage, which one would you like? They have you take a few deep breaths and it's over, and you just kind of phase out, and relax. Now, the thing that really blew me away was after I started using these oils, putting lavender on my feet every night and rubbing on my wife's feet, and we're getting the best night's sleep ever. And you look at the Fitbit, with all the things where there was enough time and deep sleep and REM sleep and, the efficiency of the sleep, and all these things were really high scores using lavender. And so if any of you are having sleep challenges, this was good for you. Now, about several months into this, Catherine came to me and said, there's this guy named Dr. Ben Perkus, and he's offered to do a aroma freedom therapy technique with everybody. I knew about EFT, emotional freedom, but I'd never heard of AFT. And basically, it's very similar to eliminate limiting beliefs, but using essential oils to facilitate, speed up, and deepen the process. So we spent about an hour on the phone with Dr. Perkus, myself, my staff, my wife, and it was amazing. It was truly amazing. Like, I take people through a belief change exercise that's very similar. There's some subtle differences, but when you started using the oils, normally I would have to tell people, and now imagine what you would say to your dad, or imagine your dad saying something different to you, or get in touch with what belief did you decide and what would be the opposite of that belief. Dr. Perkus was very rarely asking those questions. They were just happening automatically. All of a sudden in my visualization, my dad, this happened to me when I was 14, my dad and I were having pretty much of a fight, I guess you'd say. And at one point he swang at me. He just lost his temper and he went like this. And I had been studying Aikido or Judo in school, and I flipped him. And this was not cool to do to your dad. And so my mom said, run, I'll tell you when it's safe to come home. So I did. I ran out of the house, and later my brother came and got me. He said, you can come home now. And but anyway, we never healed that relation. Never, that memory was still in there. We had never talked about it again. It was still obviously in there. And what I had gone into that course with, we were saying, well, what's a limiting belief you'd like to deal with? Or what's something coming up for you that you want to do, but you have some hesitancy? And literally it was getting involved 100% in this network marketing organization, Young Living. And I had joined, I had introduced it to some friends, and it was working for us. But that I wouldn't want to go full tilt and do it and tell all my trainers they should do it and so forth. And I was hesitant. Like, what will it mean? Will people judge it because it's MLM? Will they think it's a pyramid scheme, which it's not? But anyway, I had those concerns. And what I got in touch with when I went back in time, facilitated by these oils, was my dad is an authority figure. And what would my dad think if I did what I wanted to do? In other words, I wanted to do something, but I was afraid of someone else's reaction. And that had been running me a lot in my life. Here I am, I was 74 years old, and it was still in there. Now, I teach, don't let other people run your life. You don't have to care what other people think. What you think of me is none of your business, all that stuff. But trace is still in there. So all of a sudden, my dad and I were there. All of a sudden, he comes over to me and says, we need to stop fighting. I need to acknowledge that you're a grown-up now, and you need to write your own path and make your own decisions. And it was very, very healing for me. I was like, whoa, this is so cool. And it went on like that. So I came out of that, and I jumped full tilt into Young Living, and it paid off tremendously for me, both in terms of changing the power of my work, the income it created, the relationship my wife and I have that's much better because of all the oils we've used together. So everything is a lot better as a result of that. And later we did something called an emotional reset experience, which we did for a month. And we used a bunch of oils for that. And in one of those processes, a very similar exercise, I remembered my friend who was a Black person in a Black school that I was teaching with in Chicago. It's an all Black school in the 60s, 1968, I think it was. Year Martin Luther King was killed. And he decided to become a Black Muslim. And he just went from being my best friend to, I can't talk to you anymore, you're a white person. And literally I had this tremendous pain. And in this process, I was able to let go of that and forgive him and forgive myself and be at peace with it. And one of the other people in the group, when I shared that, it was an African-American woman, wrote me a really long letter about how it helped her heal some of her experiences. But all of that was facilitated by the oils, things that had never come up before in all of my work. I did years of therapy and so forth. So these oils are extremely powerful to remove the blocks that are stopping you from taking the action, some of which you know you need to take, some of which you don't know. This is why we have a whole month of the success principles, because we're going to teach you how to get in touch with your purpose, your vision, your goals, your breakthrough goal, and then what are the actions you need to take, how to do affirmations and visualization, all of that, much of what you've been exposed to before, maybe not, maybe somewhat, but with oils, it is a totally different experience. It'll literally, what should I say? It's like a rocket taking off. It is going to turbocharge you to get to the next level. And why this happens is because all these oils are changing the vibration in your body. And some of them are like a jackhammer. They're kind of breaking apart old things that were held in place. Some of them are more like a gentle massage. Like they just raise your vibration to a state of joy and a state of peace and harmony and gratitude and spiritual oneness with the world. We have blends like forgiveness and joy that are amazing and have very high vibrations. Your body is vibrating at about 72 hertz, and rose, which is one of our best oils, vibrates at 320 hertz, much higher vibration, which is why roses always, my wife, we have a rose garden on our property. My wife's always cutting roses. Smell this, smell this, smell this. And you get high off it. And why do we give roses on Thanksgiving? Why do roses you bring people roses when you're in love with them and so forth? Because it's a very, very high vibration. It makes the person that receives them, puts them in a high vibration of love and joy and openness and so forth. Now, I put joy on my heart every morning. It's a blend of oils. I put white angelica on top of my head. It's called angelica because it relates to white angels. And literally it opens up this energy. Ylang ylang before we make love, lavender before we go to sleep, peace and calming if we get stressed out. So lots of these things which will become part of your practice as you go through aroma freedom therapy. We're going to be doing lots of sessions of that as we go through the month as well. Now, raising your vibration, why is that important? First of all, you're going to be healthier. Second of all, as your vibration goes up, you'll attract things of a higher vibration. So what's a higher vibration? More health, more abundance, more love, more successful people to be surrounded by, more loving people, more joyful people, more kind and generous people. So all of that is raising your vibration to a level where you're attracting more of what you want into your life. Simply breathing it can raise the frequency. Right now I have my diffuser going and it's got several oils in there and it's raising my vibration. So basically we know that negative thoughts will lower your vibration by 10 megahertz. Positive thoughts can raise it within 20 seconds by 10 megahertz, just the power of our thoughts. And so the oils with your thoughts together have a kind of, X squared kind of reality. It takes it up to a whole new level. So having a positive expectation, having gratitude, doing a gratitude exercise, focusing on someone or something you appreciate, laughing, humor, forgiving, acting as if life is happening for me, not to me, which is one of my mantras now because I believe it's true. Life is always happening for you. This course that we'll be doing, this experience is more than a course, it's an experience of a month. It's happening for you. It's an opportunity to take your life to the next level. So we're really excited about this to take you up. Anything that raises your frequency, we've used incense for centuries in church. I grew up originally Catholic. I left that church when my mother got excommunicated when she got divorced from my dad, who was a violent alcoholic at the time. But they'd come in with the incense and pretty soon you'd be in a different state just from the smell of it. Same thing with the oils, chanting, singing, meditation. All oils and incense and scents have been used for millennia for the purpose of raising our level of vibration, raising our consciousness. So all of this is important for you to achieve more success, more peace, more love, more health, more wellness in your life. So we're all very excited about what's going to be happening with this course. And I want to just talk for a minute about why we do this, why I'm involved with this company called Young Living. Why do we use Young Living oils as opposed to other oils? There are a lot of oils on the market. You can buy oils at Whole Foods, you can get them at Costco, you can get them from other companies. But the reality is, in my research, and I'm a research geek, if you will, I have a how to say this, I identify with Merlin, the magician, and the hat being up in the tower late at night, reading, my wife watching TV. I'm reading research reports on quantum physics and oils and all these things. But when I researched all this, I found that Gary Young, who started this company, was a research geek as well. He was a fanatic about purity. He was a fanatic about distillation, about growing things. Everything that's grown is either grown on a farm that Young Living owns or a farm that they have vetted with lots and lots and lots of research. And this has to be organic soil, which means for 50 years. To be listed organic in America, it has to be 7 years without chemical fertilizers and pesticides. But Gary's standard was 50 years. And also the seeds we use have to be organic, no GMOs. Why do people use GMOs on their lavender seeds? Because they're more durable. You don't have to deal with the bugs as bad and all that kind of stuff. But we found that if we grow certain plants in between the lavender, that keeps the bugs away. So it's natural. So he's a master distiller. We distill our oils usually longer and slower than other companies because you get more of the constituents come out. Most people do it shorter and more heat because they want to do it faster, so they get more batches. Well, we don't do that. So we have this purity of what we call seed to seal, where we seal it into the bottle that you get, and it's been evaluated and researched and tested by Young Living scientists and also a third-party scientist outside. So we know that everything is the best it can possibly be. And so we want you to have that experience to work with the best oils that you possibly can. And I'll just say, as I was being introduced, and I'm going to just talk a little bit about the experience, and I'll turn this over to Trina, that what's happened is just with TSP alone, the success principle alone, she mentioned the person that used to make money disappear, and now he makes money appear. I met him when he was 18. I was in Malaysia. He hung out in the lobby of my hotel where he thought I was going to stay. I check in. He comes over. Are you Jack Canfield? Yes. Can I show you some magic tricks? I like magic. Sure. Anyway, I loved him. He was a great kid, 18 years old. And he went on to study the principles. He went on to become a great magician. He went on, and now he's about 30, I think. And he's in the Malaysian Book of Records, which is like the Guinness Book of Records for Malaysia. He's performed for the Sheikh of Abu Dhabi, the Sheikh of Dubai. He's traveled all over the world. He makes tons of money. And it's all because he learned the success principles and applied them to his life. And I tell you about a person who was homeless that I met in the Philippines when I was teaching in Malaysia, applied the success principles. And within 3 years, he became a multimillionaire. Another person who was homeless in Bangkok, Thailand, in Phuket, actually south of there, and who within 15 years of studying the success principles became worth $3 billion. Homeless, living on the beach, sleeping on his beach towel and a suitcase for a pillow. Now worth $3 billion. All because of, he said, I watched The Secret. I saw you in The Secret. I got your book. I studied the principles. I applied the principles. So you can get there even faster with the oils. How about a yoga teacher who turned her yearly income of $50,000 into her monthly income of $50,000 and made $500,000 the following year? Or Miriam Laundrie, who was a mom at home, who basically studied the success principles, went home, and then when she wrote a book called I Can Believe in Myself, started that book out, wrote another book. Now she's got a book publishing company. She's teaching authors how to write children's books. Super, super successful, and has a Guinness Book World Record for the longest book discussion online that's ever happened. We've had people double, triple, 10 times their income, savable marriages, get out of terrible marriages. Someone who came back from the Iraq War who had PTSD that basically no one thought it'd ever get over, got over it, and is now in our organization with Young Living. So all of these things are possible for you. Again, 2 people I know who were told they'd never walk again listened to the Success Principles audio tapes because they couldn't even read because they had such bad brain damage, one from a fall, the other from an automobile accident. Both of them now walk perfectly. One of them's a trainer, travels around the world teaching. The other is a teacher, has written a couple of books and teaches online. And I could go on and on. Successful authors, schools transformed, etc. So if you want to go deeper and further and faster than you've ever gone before, these principles, along with the essential oils in this 30-day experience, will help you get there. So you can have more peace, more joy, more financial abundance, better relationships, improved health, and everything else that you're looking for. So I'm curious. You put in the chat what results you're looking for. So I'd like you to, once again, you've heard me talk about this. I'm going to hand this over to Trina in just a minute. But can you write in the chat, if you were to do this 30-day experience with us, what is it that you want to achieve or put into action? Like you might start a goal that maybe takes 6 months to achieve, but you're going to have a running head start, or something you'd like to say by the end of 30 days, I want this. What would that be? Be very specific. Be very, very specific, because one of the things that we know is how to get from where you are to where you want to be. You have to be very specific about where you want to be. What's the goal? What's the outcome you want? So go ahead, type that into the chat. I'm going to look at that for just a minute. Maybe I'll read a few of them, and then I'm going to turn this over to Trina. Let me just look in the chat, see what y'all are putting in there. Get my chat up. Here we go. Lots of things. Here we go. Got to get past all the stuff you put in before. I love all the sharing you guys were doing. Triple my sales volume, become silver in my Young Living business, launch my author's brand, add 5 new corporate clients, 333,000 investment in my new media company, get more organized. I want a paying client for at least 2 of my workshops, finish my PhD dissertation. Boy, I know what that one's like. Get sobriety. Or I haven't had an alcoholic drink in a long time as well. So it's important. I wrote a book called A 30-Day Sobriety Solution, by the way, which you may want to also get. Organize my home with clarity, get financial freedom, organize my craft room, launch my total program, 5K a month income, 250,000 for investment, finish my CBT, 20 new customers, yearly income become my monthly income, good for you. Have huge momentum, get my business into profit, go to Disneyland with Jack. All right, why not? Finish my PhD, become silver, book launch with JC, working regularly and eating healthily, good. Increase monthly net income by $833,000, okay, good. Set up a consulting business, finish my train the trainer essays, meet my beautiful life partner, get what else? Earn enough money to pay for my oils, which would be $1,000 a month. If you really do this right, there's a lot of great products. All right, publish one of my poems, create a coaching program. Okay, I'm going to stop reading. Oh, that was pretty much the end. Launch my holistic program, lose 10 pounds, or at least get 10s on all my wheels of life. Very good. All right. So I'm going to turn this over to Trina. Trina Sett is one of our trainers for the Campfield Training Group. She is one of our top leaders in my organization, which now has over 2,300 people in it. Very excited to have you here, Trina. Trina is an expert in accountability. She's an expert in helping people achieve their dreams. She's someone who is, what I would say is just totally committed to make things happen. And someone who's, I want to say also unstoppable enthusiasm and belief that something can happen. So great person to take this to the next level. So Trina, over to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. It's so fun to hear you describe me and what you say. And then as you say that, I'm all like, yep, that's me. Unstoppable. When I get excited about something, it's really, really, really hard to kick me off from that level. But I just want to share just real quick, because we're going to pop into what this is about. But doing the success principles and working with Jack, like, literally changed my life. And I'm so excited about the processes and everything that happened that got me to where I am today. It was really all about that. It's called the White Bible. It's the Success Principle book. So when I started doing Young Living with Jack, which I'll tell more about that later, I have always been, how can we integrate the success principles with Young Living? So they were 2 separate companies. Jack has, Campfield Training Group, and they do all of these seminars. And then we have Young Living, which is all about, health and wellness and bringing these oils into our lives and all of that. And so now 1 year later, like, it's literally 1 year later, to be here and to be able to take my 2 passions, the success principles, and Young Living essential oils and combine them together. Like, this is finally happening. I'm so excited. So what we have done is Natalie and I and Jack have basically put together a 30-day program combining these two. And so it took me, like, quite a bit of time just to read the book and then to do the Train the Trainer program online and to learn this. And if I would have had these oils, let me tell you, it would have happened a lot faster back at that time. So I'm going to share with you what our program is, what our 30-day program is. I'll hop in and share the screen. And so this is what you're going to get. So this is going to kick off on April 28th. We're going to have a kickoff call with Jack. All the calls are approximately, give yourself 2 hours. It'll be between 90 minutes and 2 hours. So on Wednesday, April 28th, we're going to kick it off with Jack, and we're going to introduce you to not just Jack, but a master oil trainer, AFT professional. Trisha Jacobson is going to be there with us, and she's going to start teaching us, okay, processes that we're going to use these oils, and this is what we're going to do before the call, and then Jack will lead us in a training. Everyone that is in this group is going to get a private Facebook community where we can post, we can share anything that's going on, and then we'll keep you all updated on anything that's going on in addition to that. There's going to be Facebook Lives, just pop up throughout. You don't have to be on every single one, but you'll be able to see it. Certified success principle facilitators, like people who have gone through the training with Jack, been certified, not just in the success principles. Jack has something called Canfield methodology, and it's a way of working with people that it builds trust, and it has a safe space. And so all of these facilitators have gone through that extra training, not just knowing what's in the book, but how to create a safe space and help you overcome if you feel like you get stuck. There's also going to be oil education in there. So, what oils to use, when to use them, just like product education. Everyone gets a daily actions guidebook. And so you can go at your own pace. We would like you to do like every day, day 1, day 2, day 3, because it is a 30-day experience. But you can kind of go on your own. So you can just read the short little chapter in the morning and then try to implement it throughout the day. Obviously, we're going to be using Young Living essential oils. They're pure botanicals, and they're going to accelerate your results. We're also really lucky. I have been able to attend 3 or 4 breakthrough to success events with Jack Canfield. It's like his signature event. Until COVID, they were live. They were 5 days long. And one of my favorite parts was Jack and Patty, his business partner, would be up on the stage, and everyone, they'd be running around with microphones, and they would ask for sharing. Does anybody want to share, or does anyone have something that's come up for them? And so I would always raise my hand, because I'm one of those people that always raises their hand. A lot of people do, and they get to ask a question or share something that they have learned throughout the process. And I heard that this was like Jack's favorite part, and he will actually do some like live coaching with you. If you want to, you can participate in that. And Jack has agreed to do 2 2-hour sessions during those 30 days. So anyone who wants to can come and join. And also there's something, what is that called, Jack? I think it's like borrowed learning. Like sometimes when somebody else asks a question.
Well, yeah, 2 things are true. A lot of times, if I'm talking to you, Trina, you might be resisting what I'm saying, but someone else has the same issue. But because I'm not directly saying it to them, it goes in without any argument. And so we talk about a term called borrowing benefits in our tapping work and in EFT borrowing benefits. So if I'm coaching you or walking you through an EFT or AFT session, everyone else is getting a benefit, even if they're working on a different issue. It's very interesting how that works. So listening to other people go through their process and get unstuck helps you get unstuck. That's the power of a group energy.
Yeah, I love it. It is one of my favorite parts of the trainings that we get to do. And so we have included that in the 30. It's not going to be on Wednesdays. We're going to do those on Fridays. Again, those will be live, they'll be recorded, everything will be recorded. So, you don't feel like, you have to attend or that you have to be there at that exact time, because you're going to get the benefit of it whenever you have a chance to do it. But if you can, I would recommend live. Also, I just want to say, we decided to schedule these at 4 p.m. Pacific time so that people could come after work, and people in the Philippines, and it's hard to get everybody in the whole world to be there, but they're all scheduled at 4 p.m. Pacific time for the most part, all of these calls. One of the calls that's a little bit earlier, it is on a Friday, is Jack's business partner and an amazing, amazing woman, an author, a best-selling author herself, Patty Aubrey, and Andrea Venton, who's a master trainer with Jack, have decided to do a roundtable. So if you're feeling stuck, or you want to be in the hot seat a little bit and maybe get a little bit of help, they are going to come in and do a Zoom call. And again, it's optional. You can come. We're just going to have that available for you. And also the amazing Catherine Tristane, the woman who enrolled Jack Canfield, is going to do a vision board party. And we will have a list of, get these supplies, things that you would want to have. That is going to be scheduled near the beginning of the 30 days. We'll let you know ahead of time. But it's kind of fun to pull that together and do it with a group, than sitting by yourself and cutting it out. So if you like doing it by yourself, you can do it by yourself. But if you want to do it in a group and have a lot of fun in the community, that is also something that we're going to be offering. So now I know you're asking, like, okay, so what do I have to do to get started, to join? So the first thing that you have to do is you need to have a premium starter kit. Most of you on this call probably already have one because you're already a member of Jack's team. But for those of you who have been invited here by someone else, and this is the first time seeing it, you're going to want to have a premium starter kit. And the reason we want you to have this one is because it comes with a diffuser. Not only does it come with a diffuser, I have a list here. You get the Desert Mist diffuser. You get these premium oils. You're going to get lavender, peppermint, lemon vitality, citrus fresh, frankincense, thieves, raven, digize, panaway, stress away, valor, and peace and calming. So it comes with all of those oils in addition to a little thieves sample, which is our non-toxic sanitizer. And it also comes with some of our Ningxia, which we totally love. It has some little other project samples. But in this kit, the lavender, the stress away, and the frankincense are going to be, remember when he was talking about Dr. Ben Perkis, those are the 3 oils that we're going to be using for the aroma freedom techniques that we're going to be using with Trisha Jacobson. And those all come. And so if you were to just go buy those 3 oils, it would cost you almost the same amount as just buying the starter kit. So the starter kit is a $400 value. So you might as well just have the starter kit. So once you have that, these are additional oils that you're going to need to participate, because we're going to be using them every week. We're going to focus on a certain oil, and it's going to help you in the process of the 30-day success principles. So the first oil you're going to want to get is the Transformation Essential Oil Blend. It releases resistance to changing negative emotions, which a lot of us, sometimes we get stuck in those, it has to be this way. Our belief systems that are held in the limbic system of the brain. It supports us in times of spiritual, emotional, or physical transition or change. Transformation is an amazing oil. Clarity. As we're working on success, one of the big things that we're going to want to do or have, and Jack will tell you, is clarity. There's a chapter in the book called Be Clear Why You're Here. So Clarity Essential Oil is an excellent blend of essential oils. It's specifically designed to provide greater mental concentration and alertness. So you're going to use it before a test. We're not going to have any tests for you, but well, we might. Maybe we'll have pop-up tests. I'm just kidding. No tests. This is a really wonderful experience. Before you have a meeting or competition that you want it to give you, it gives you that mental edge. Also, you can just use it to give yourself a boost if you're just feeling mentally fatigued. So the next oil that you are required to have is Magnify Your Purpose. It's an excellent blend of oils to help with procrastination. If you need help with procrastination, just go ahead and maybe drop a 1 in the chat. maybe think about doing it later. Maybe I'll drop a one in later when I get done with this. Victimization and self-pity. And, you know, I just want to say, Jack mentioned it earlier, and I was going to mention it also later, but I really believe now that the universe, God, divine energy, source, whatever it is that you believe, is doing things for me. If you believe it's doing things to you, then you become a victim. So if you can use this oil, magnify your purpose, to get you in the thought process that everything that happens, positive or negative, is happening for you, to create you, or to help you become the person that you are meant to be, it's going to bring so much light and love into your life just by doing this. This is an amazing oil. It protects us from negative emotions, supports us in seeing and moving forward in our life purpose. Use it for when we're making big personal changes or transitioning through spiritual work. It will help bring commitment to purpose and help manifest your intentions to do so. So magnify your purpose. Also, we just had to throw this one on here. This is Jack's favorite oil. Joy is essential. It's a beautiful blend of oils that brings love or joy to the heart. And we are going to have an amazing community of people that are involved that are all going to bring so much joy to your life. And this really is going to cement that. It's going to bind that joy and love to your life. So you're going to want to have these 4 oils. Why don't you all, if you're just looking at all of these oils, which one of these oils are you most excited about right now? All right, so these are the required oils. We wanted to share with you, for those of you who are really serious about success, these additional oils are recommended. They will be highlighted throughout the experience. They are not mandatory. So these oils are gratitude oil. Let me tell you, every day I wake up and I am so grateful that I have a bed to sleep in, that I have warm blankets, that I have my cuddle bug dog Bailey in bed with me. This is a habit I have developed from working with Jack, is I start every day with gratitude. And if you're focusing on the things that you have to be grateful for, it's really hard not to smile. If you were to stop right now and think of something that you are very grateful for, you just can't help but smile. And so that gratefulness it comes into your life almost immediately. So I started practicing doing that every morning. Like, you know, what are 5 things that I'm grateful for before I get out of bed? And after a while, it becomes a habit, which Jack will teach you more about in the success principles as we're going through this training. So gratitude oil. The next oil is highest potential. It's an interesting oil blend. It contains 14 therapeutic grade oils from 2 blends and more. It's a spiritual oil, and that it has many of the oils from the Bible, including frankincense, galbanum, and sandalwood. And these oils help you to connect with the divine and help you see your own potential. It empowers and supports you so you can reach your goals and dreams, and it's going to help you build confidence, release limiting beliefs, and focus on your potential, not your imperfections. Believe essential oil is our 3rd additional oil. It is a calming blend that opens our inner awareness to our potential so we can live a more fulfilling life. It's going to support us in knowing that we can change our situations, but first we must believe we can. If you've seen Law of Attraction or seen The Secret, you know about Law of Attraction. You have to believe it. It's going to help release emotions of despair and inadequacy that are typically stored in our lungs. And once we are empowered, we will move towards achieving our goals and ambitions. The next oil is motivation oil. It's so funny. Sometimes this is such a great seller, and it's a limited quantity. If you can get it now. If you can get it anytime during the event, if it's sold out right now, wait a few days and it'll come back up. We can get it again. It helps you overcome procrastination and fear. So if you feel stuck or you need to get help moving along, this is the oil for you. The last one is Inner Child. So the Inner Child essential oil is a very soothing blend. It smells wonderful. It was specifically designed for us to reconnect with our inner child and our inner self. I believe that our inner child is still inside us, and that is who we were before the world came in and started putting all of these thoughts and things into our self. So if you think and you can imagine you know, a toddler running around who falls down but gets back up over and over and over and over. You know, they don't fall down and say, well, I guess walking's not for me and quit, right? Or how many times do you have to tell a child, you know, no, don't do that, and they just keep going and going and going until they are taught from the outside world to obey. And what we want to do is bring that inner child forward and have you open up to all of your dreams and you know what's going on with you for real, what you want. So just real quick, I wanted to share this with you, just about my story. The success principles changed my life. My life was very different 5 years ago. I was married to an alcoholic who worked as a karaoke host at a bar 5 nights a week. So you can just imagine what my life was like and who I was working with. I did have a fabulous job that I fell in love with at Jenny Craig as a weight loss consultant. I worked there for 8 years, one of the top consultants, and my job was to help people stay motivated, stay on track, achieve their weight loss goals. And I started looking for ways that I could help my clients. And law of attraction, spirit, God gave me YouTube video. I was watching for some training and Jack Canfield came on and I recognized him from the movie The Secret, and he was talking about how to get from where you are to where you want to be. And it was like, I know him, that's the secret guy, right? So I started watching that and it literally changed my life. And I went to one of his one-day events, a One Day to Greatness event, and I got to meet him and thank him for changing my life. See, I was blaming everything on my alcoholic husband and his fault, and everything was all these problems. And I told Jack how he had changed that because I had to take responsibility for where I was in my life. And well, guys, I met him at a bar. He was drunk when I met him, and I married him anyway. So that really helped me define like where I was and where I wanted to be. I still love him to this day. I love him. I just didn't want to live that lifestyle. And I made some incredible changes, which led to me taking Jack's Train the Trainer online course and then enrolling in his one-on-one 14-day live event where I got to work one-on-one with Jack, and also attend his Breakthrough to Success events where I raised my hand, and I got so much help and so much training with these amazing success principles that it literally, I quit working at Jenny Craig. I launched my own accountability partner business. And then I got to go to the retreat last October, which Catherine Chastain attended. And at the end of the retreat, we had this beautiful dinner at Jack's house. And while nobody was around, I snuck into his office and I put these little yellow sticky notes. I hid them in his office. So when he reached for a pen or reached for a book, there's a little sticky note that says, that Trina sure is a great gal. I should do some kind of business venture with her. You know, like literally 5 or 6 notes I put around his office. And 5 months later, I was able to be on the call with Jack and Dr. Ben Perkis and Inga and Alice and Sprite and Natalie and some amazing people that were on here. And now here we are, like 1 year later, here we are, and we are combining the success principles with these amazing oils. And I'm super grateful, super grateful to be here. The last thing that I want to say is that working with Jack, this is just such an incredible opportunity right now. Many of us have paid tens of thousands of dollars to work with Jack, to work one-on-one with Jack. It's we want to work closely alongside him, learn what he's learned. I always tell everyone, Jack is above all a teacher. He learns something and then he shares it. He learns it and he shares it. He learns from Tony Robbins. He learns from, like he was talking about all those modalities and everything that he's learned. He wants to share with you the things that he has learned. So we call him Merlin in the tower. He's up there poring over these books, and then he comes out and shares with you. This is an incredible opportunity for as little as $300. I mean, for the cost of a kit and a few oils, You get to spend 30 days with Jack in this community. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna start crying right now. Like, I am so excited about this. So everyone is welcome to join us on this magical journey. If you're part of Jack's organization or Catherine's greater organization, which includes Jack's organization, this is free for you. You only need to have your starter kit and those essential oils. And then if you are visiting and say you're in Young Living, but you are not in this organization, just shoot me a message, because we have a sign up. If you want to, you can just pay $350 and we will put you into the group and you can attend also. If any of you know someone who's in Young Living and you want to share this experience with them, all they have to do is when they fill it out, they say, I added a question that says, who invited you? And they can just put your name and you'll be the referring person who sent someone to join this. So I want to give everybody an opportunity to ask any questions or share.
Yay.
Natalie?
That was amazing. Thank you
Yay.
so much. Yeah, so just for clarity, if you are already a part of Jack or Catherine's Young Living team, you just need those oils that Trina talked about, and they are transformation, clarity, magnify your purpose, and joy. And you also need to make sure you're fully stocked up on frankincense, stress away, and lavender for all those amazing AFT processes you heard about. And if someone invited you here to hear about this experience and you're excited to come join us, they can completely get you set up. And you get to come and work with Jack Canfield for a full month just for getting started and set up with your premium starter kit and those additional oils, which comes to $364.75. So just make sure you get back to whoever invited you to this call and they will be able to help you out with that.